Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. The cannabis industry is getting big. It's getting major. It's getting major. More and more states are getting on the wagon of legalizing marijuana. And let's be real, why? It makes money. It makes money. And I'm gonna tell you what, the beauty of it is, and it's an industry that, well, let me back up a bit. I'm not big on it. Usually I talk about stuff I have some familiarity with. I've never been, well, maybe that one time, but never been a smoker of marijuana or anything. Never been. I've never been a smoker, period. But Ron being the capitalist that he is, I'm seeing the money in it. Now, of course, it's all that illegal stuff. But since marijuana has been legalized, cannabis has been legalized, major industries are popping up, like the overall thing. And it don't have to do anything with smoking. Some people might think it's just about smoking. I'm like, you know how many things there are in that have to do with cannabis, hemp? There are a ton of products. In fact, it should have never been criminalized to begin with. You can make so many things from hemp. It's just hemp. And I'm going to tell you what. It's not just the smoking, because, of course, people got the pills. Now you got the CBD back rubs. Like I got a CBD muscle rub and stuff. You got hemp fashion. Hemp fashion. You got the foods and everything. You got so many things based on a plant that just keeps growing and growing. It's smart. Now, let's just real quick why a lot of people might not get into it is, let's be real, there's some religious stuff there. It's supposedly, this a bad thing. Yet the same people after church, they will go to the liquor store. I'm just saying. Speaking of that, remember, I think they learned from the days of Prohibition. Remember when liquor used to be so illegal? It was illegal and they had all this trouble. Then they legalized it. Now it's like the same companies that would have been criminals back in the day. They sponsoring major initiatives. They sponsoring major things. In fact, a lot of the economy that got hurt during the lockdowns was these saloons couldn't sell any alcohol. They couldn't open up. So I'm thinking about the cannabis thing. There are just so many things there. So many things to look into. I mean, like I've gotten some magazines. They were talking about hemp fashion. Hemp fashion? I'm like, what? I mean, fashion. Think about it. There's so many things that can be made just from the plant. So many things. It's not just smoking them. That's all some people are using them. But you got everything from the machinery to effectively harvest the stuff, stuff to make products with, containers. Anybody's in a container business, the fashion thing. Think about it. Hemp fashion. All of a sudden, some people start getting into that. All of a sudden, you got some little stores popping up. You got some little stores, and then, that affects logistics. That affects everything else. Logistics, you got to deliver the stuff. Whatever the product is, whether it's some muscle rubs, some shirts, some pills, or just some regular J's to smoke, you still got to deliver the stuff. So that's logistics. The trucking industry, they get a cut of that. There's so many things. Because if you think about, one thing to think about any industry is they have the primary thing. Okay, in this case, the cannabis thing, but there's so many things there. And even with the legalities, because it's not legal in every state, you have a whole subset of the industry that's trying to legalize it. So you getting attorneys and support for the attorneys getting work. And even in the places where it's legalized, you still got to get business licenses, attorneys, accountants to count the money. You giving workers everything. And like I say, it's so many things. Food. I've read about restaurants that got some cannabis in the food. Shoot. That's powerful in itself. And all it is I'm going to tell you what, shout out Cousin T-Tar, because he had talked about the three main things Three nodes of power. Three things that's always going to make money. Sex, drugs, and guns to protect the operations. Sex, drugs, and guns. And when he said drugs, it's not just illegal drugs, but just stuff that people are addicted to. Like if you look at Starbucks, they promoting a drug, caffeine. A lot of people are addicted to that caffeine. Or, a donut place. A lot of people are addicted to that sugar. And just as an aside, sugar is a serious ass drug. It's hard, and that creates stuff. Shoot. If we didn't have that sugar drug, trust me, a lot of dentists, we wouldn't need as many dentists. But that's another conversation. But the thing is, look at industries like that for business. Like you don't have, like I said, like somebody like myself, I wouldn't have the slightest interest in smoking something. But if hemp fashion gets bigger, I'm like, maybe set up a store here or something selling these products, finding the community and everything. People could even, I'm in the publishing industry. People could write books where the cannabis industry plays a part in the backdrop or something. So much. You can get some movies together. I mean, there's so many things, and that's with any industry, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And like I said, people, they're going to legalize, because I always think about the story of Colorado. At first, they were having, money problems and everything. As soon as they legalized cannabis there, everything changed up. And also, the prison system. There's a lot of people in jail just for some little small amounts of marijuana. Like in the states that's legalized, and they clearing the records of people who have been arrested. It's a waste of time. You got some serious violent people out there who should be in the prison. You wasting time for somebody who just wanted to get high. I mean, there's so much there. Get a buzz. And speaking of buzz, like I said, I tried it. I ain't gonna lie. I tried it one time. I ain't gonna lie. When I was young, wasn't for me. You get more of a buzz with some malt liquor. That's legal. But I'm about to get on that political soapbox. But it's getting big. It's something to look into. Just look into it. This ain't saying you have to, but there's so many little things. Like I said, I got some muscle rub that's a CBD. And it works extremely well. It's probably the best muscle rub I've ever used, because it works so well. Well, I feel an ache, I rub it, and then the ache is gone. Whereas I use more mainstream products or something, that ache is still there. I have to use it several times. With the CBD muscle rub stuff, it's like I rub one time and then I forget I even had the pain. So it's getting big, and there's so many angles that you can look at. So many angles. So something to consider. So y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.